everyone, it's Krista and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not new, hello again. So this is my channel. I love to do DIYs on a budget, Dollar Tree DIYs, thrift flips, farmhouse and rustic, wreaths, and seasonal decor. So if you like what you see here, you know what to do. Hit that red subscribe button. Also leave me a comment. I love to hear what you guys think. And also give me a thumbs up. That helps my channel. You can also follow me over on Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, and Facebook. But today is all about my favorite 10 Christmas DIYs that I did throughout the year. So I want you guys to sit back, relax, get a hot cup of hot coffee or cocoa, snuggle up, and watch this video. And they will not be in any, they'll be all out of order. So they're just different snips from different ones, okay? DIY so here number one. So it's all about snowmen. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm taking 2 of these pieces of wood from the Dollar Tree, a little tag, some stamps, a rusty bell, some ripped fabric, and some picks from the Dollar Tree, and I'm using black chalk paint and some snow tacks. So first I'm going to paint both of these pieces of wood with the black chalk paint. And then after I do that, we're going to do, and then I'm going to sand them. So what I did is I want them to look worn and vintage. So that's the look I'm going for, farmhouse, vintage. So I'm just, using my sander and going around the edges really good so some of that wood peeks through really nicely. Then I'm going to take my tag and my stamp, and this stamp says, "Let it snow," and I am going to put that on my tag. And then I'm going to make my tag look old too. So what I'm doing is I have this little tool, but you can use your scissors to rough up the edges. And then I'm using some Distress Oxide. This is vintage photo, and I'm just going and putting it all over the tag to make it look old. And then I crickled it up in my hands. Now I'm going to use some super wood glue from the Dollar Tree and some hot glue, and I'm going to glue that down to our other piece of wood. Now I'm going to make one of these messy raggy bows. They're different names for them. And I'm just using the strips of fabric that I ripped, and I'm just folding them back and forth inside my bow dabra. And I'm just going to continuously do that. These bows are really easy to make, and if you like the farmhouse rustic look, these are perfect for any DIY that you're doing. And I just keep doing it back and forth. There's no right or wrong way with this. And that's what I like about it, because it's so easy and it looks really cute on any project. And I'm just keep going back and forth. This is why I always pick up fabric at the Dollar Tree and anything that's on clearance. Then I'm going to take my twine and I am just going to tie a knot in the middle. And you want to make sure it's really tight. And then I'm just going to go on the edges and I'm going to trim off any excess fabric so that both sides are nice and even. And then once I do that, I'm going to, cut the excess twine off as well. And I'm just fluffing up the bow. Next, I'm going to take some glue, hot glue, and I'm just going to glue that in the corner of my little snowman hat. And then I'm going to take these picks from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to stick them kind of behind the hat a little bit. Behind the bow. And I'm going to glue those down. And then I'm going to take some of those berries you see there. But first, I'm going to glue down my tag in the center of my bow and my little rusty bell. My rusty bells are in my Amazon shop, which is listed in my description box as well. And then I'm just going to put some berries, and there it is. So now I'm going to take some of this snow tacks, and I am just going to use a little brush, and I'm just going to put a little bit on my hat. That's my daughter's hand. You see right there. She was watching what I was doing. And I just put, wherever I wanted it. And this stuff, I love using it. I use it a lot in my DIYs, especially at Christmas time. And it's really great. And a little goes a long way. And you can pick this up at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, or online on Amazon that has it. So yes, this stuff is really, really cool. So I did all around the brim of the hat, the top of the hat, and then in the center of the hat as well. You can put as much or as little as you want. And that was it. And here it is, you guys. I hope you guys like it. Let me know what you think in the comments. These stickers from Amazon, they're Snowman face stickers. Some socks from the Dollar Tree. These little globes that have these flowers in the inside that light up. And then I'm also going to use this little plaque piece that I got from Hobby Lobby, some Mod Podge, and some fake snow, and some of that holographic paint. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these out. They were very easy to get out, so not hard at all, because I'm not going to use those. And then I'm going to take some Mod Podge and some water, because I want to water this down, because I'm going to pour them into each one of these little globe pieces. So I'm just going to put a little in, and I'm just going to keep, you know, moving it around till it gets completely covered on the inside. Then I'm going to take some of that fake snow from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to shake it around in the inside until it gets all covered around as well. Now you have to wait for these to completely dry before you move on to these other steps. I let mine dry for a pretty long time, so maybe a couple hours. And then I did it again, and I poured excess that was in that one, so I didn't waste any. And then I just did the same thing. Then next, once they were all dry, I went on, got my stickers, and I'm going to put the little faces onto each one of these. So you just pick whatever ones you want. I use the smaller ones because these globes are not that big. So I just used, and I put some eyes on them, and then the nose, the carrot nose, and then the mouth. So if you're not good at drawing, or it's really hard to even draw on these plastic pieces, so this was much easier. Then I'm going to take the socks, and I'm going to cut the light green one with just one, and then the two black ones I'm going to cut two of them. So what I did is I cut a little bit above the heel, not too much though. And then I'm just going to turn it inside out, and then I'm going to turn it over a little bit so that I have kind of a brim for my hat, and also that fuzziness won't go all over the place, so it kind of glues it down on the inside. And then I turn it back inside out again, and then I'm going to take a piece of twine, and I'm going to make it look like a little ball at the top of the hat, and I'm just going to tie it real tight into a knot, and then I'm going to cut the excess off. Now, I saw a crafter do this. Her name on Facebook is We Craft Around, and I will have her link down in my description box. I love the stuff she makes, and this was really cute, and I just had to do it. So go check her out as well. And then I'm just gluing the hat on now to the ball. So our little snowman, I'm just gluing it on, going around all the edges to make sure it's going to stay and not slide off, because plastic, it will slide off. So you just got to make sure you hold it down as you glue it, just to make sure it stays in place. And then there's one of them. And then I did the same thing to the other two. Then I'm going to take my white chalk paint and this little plaque that I got. They have these at Hobby Lobby, but you can also get them at the Dollar Tree as well. And I just painted it white, and now I'm taking that holographic paint, which has like sparkles in it, and I painted that over the top. Then once it was dry, I started gluing down my snowman. So I started with the black one, put it down. Then I took the other one and kind of kitty cornered it to the side. And you have to hold these until they set. And that's how I glued them on, just like that. Really easy. Then I took some of the Snow Tex again, and I put just a little bit on the base of the bottom there, the wood piece. And that's it, you guys. This was really easy, so cute. I love these. Okay, guys, this is the Vevor 11-in-1 heat press. I love this machine. It has mugs that you can put stuff on, hats, t-shirts, any type of shirt, nameplates. You can also do it on pens. This thing is amazing, you guys. This is the machine. You set it to the degrees and temperature that you want it for whatever you're using, and then you set the seconds that you see there. There's a time, and it just has an arrow up and down. It's very simple to use. I also got these accessories that come with it for different type of mugs or cups, and then you also have the one for hats. This also has the circle for the actual plates or your metal plates if you want to do them, your circular ones. And also that's the pens. You can actually print on your pens as well. So this is it. You just swivel it around. This machine is really easy to use. I'm going to show you using one of my t-shirts. I made Grinch t-shirts for myself and my husband and our kids, and we're all matching. And then I got these iron-ons on Amazon. I just place the shirt down, make sure it's flat, make sure you have it where you want to put it, and then you just put down the iron-on, turn it around, pull the lever down, really, really simple, and then you just press start. And when it's done, you lift off the plastic part that was on the iron-on, and voila, you got your shirt. These are some of the shirts that I made for my family, so go check them out. I will have all the information for the company down in my description box. Absolutely love this machine, you guys, and it is not expensive. There will be a discount down below as well if you use my code. Bye. Candlestick from the Dollar Tree, holder, I should say. A rusty bell. The Snowman is also from the Dollar Tree. It's a ornament. Some white chalk paint, some ink chalk paint, and the white chalk paint, I'm going to use a little sponge brush, and I'm going to paint this whole black candlestick holder. I found these at the Dollar Tree, and I had to grab them because there's so many things you could do with these, you guys. So if you ever see them, grab them. And once I did that, I took a sponge, and I kind of went around. I wanted this to look nicked, farmhouse, rustic, you know, kind of like some of the black was peeking through, and I love that look. So I just used a little sponge, dipped it in the paint, and then just went around wherever I wanted to. And then I'm going to take the strips of fabric that I cut again, and I started gluing them to the top of my candlestick holder, just randomly, and I just kept going around until, you know, I got them all filled in the way I wanted. And you're just going to have them hang down to the bottom base of your candlestick holder. And just put as much fabric as you want, but I want, you know, the candlestick holder to still be peeking through. And there it is. And then what I did is I took the greenery that was on this snowman ornament off because I did not like it. And I put on some other greenery. So I just stuck some of these pieces that I had in my stash onto the hat. And these pieces did come from the Dollar Tree, but I just liked them better than the other stuff. And then I also stuck down that little acorn that you see there. It comes in a little pack from the Dollar Tree with all kinds of stuff in it. And then I stuck just a little cluster of berries on there as well. And I thought that looked much more rustic and farmhouse. And then I glued my head to the top of the candlestick. And there it is. And then I just made a simple X bow that you see there. But I'm going to take my rusty bell, and I'm also going to add that to the top of my hat too. Look how cute he is. And then I decided to take some of these tiny rusty bells that I have. Now, all these rusty bells and snowflakes are in my Amazon shop, so you can definitely get those if you want them. I have them in there. And I just tied on onto the twine of my bow those two little bells, and then I glued my little bow to the base of my snowman right underneath the head. And then my tag and my snowflake went on there, and a little rusty bell in the middle of my bow. And that's it, you guys. I think he turned out so chalk paint, some burnt orange, some black chalk paint. I'm also going to use that Distress Oxide again, a stick, popsicle stick, some ripped fabric, and some striped fabric that I had. Rusty bell, rusty snowflake. And this board came from the Hobby Lobby. And I actually got this last year when they were like 75% off, but they have them this year. And I took the popsicle stick and made a little nose, and I painted it with the burnt orange. And now I'm going to use this fabric that I love so much, you guys. I've been using this a lot. And I just cut a piece off to make a hat for the top part of my board. So I just cut it as long as I needed it because I'm going to make a long hat. And then I just glued it around the top of the board and then brought it around the back and glued that down. And I just kept gluing it until I got it the way I wanted it. And I kind of folded it over in the back and kind of brought it like to a point almost, because I'm going to hang it over the side of the board. And then I'm just going to glue it all the way up the top. And I just folded it inside so it has a nice little hem. And then I trimmed up the edge with my scissors. And then I brought it down over, and then I just trimmed it to where I wanted it to come down the side. So I just needed to trim a little more off. So I just cut it, and then I roughed up the edges with my little sander because I want this to look rustic and farmhouse. And then I took my rusty bell and I stuck that right on the edge of my little hat and then stuck it down to the side of my board. And you really got to hold it until it sets. See, it kept coming off, so I really had to hold it down. And then once I got that on, I'm going to come in with some string, I believe. I don't know why I left this part in. Oops, sorry guys. Me cleaning up, doing this and that, so sorry about that. So then I'm going to take a piece of twine and I am going to stick that through the hat on the bottom portion near the bell, and I'm going to tie it in a knot and a little bow tie. And then I'm going to take another piece of twine and tie that at the bottom part near the brim of my hat and tie that in a knot as well. And then I'm going to take that white, this is just a piece of chunk yarn, and I am just dirtying that up with my Vintage Photo Distress Oxide, and I'm going to put that for the brim of my hat around the edge. And next I'm going to take my little carrot, and I made that a little grungy, and then around the edges of the board as well with that Vintage Photo Distress Oxide. I'm using the back of my paintbrush again to make my little eyes. I'm showing you an easy way to make eyes. I do draw eyes as well, but I thought this was really simple, so I used it. And then I made my little cheeks with my paintbrush. I just dipped it in my Distress Oxide. And then I made my mouth the same way. I just used the end of my paintbrush, dipped it in some black, and made my little mouth for my snowman. And then I made a little bow again. I didn't show how I made it again. And I stuck that right on my hat, and then the snowflake in the center. And that's it, you guys. So I hope you guys like my video. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm taking this wood slice from Dollar Tree, some fairy lights, some of these Christmas trees, which I don't end up using. I do use the deer though, and also this flock Christmas tree, also some snow tech, and these hoops. They're embroidery hoops, and I'm only going to use the inside of the hoop, not the outside. And then some picks that I got. It's a variety from Hobby Lobby and Dollar Tree. So the first thing I did was unscrew the inside of the hoops and took those out. Next, I'm going to be using my plaster paint by Waverly, and I'm going to paint those all around, both of them. Once I get those all painted, then what I'm going to do is, this is how I want it to go on my slice. I'm not going to paint the wood slice. I want it to stay the wood because it looks like a tree trunk, so I love it. And it looks like a slice out of a tree trunk, I should say. So what I did is I took some glue and I glued the top, but I want the bottom to open wide. I just want the top to be glued together. So I'm just wrapping some twine to reinforce that because I knew the glue wasn't just going to hold on its own because it's just hot glue. I mean, if you want to try super glue, but I thought this was better. So I just used the twine, and then I just went all the way around a few times, and then I glued it, cut it off, and then now I'm going to glue it down to the base. So I'm going to use some more hot glue, and I'm going to hold it there till it sets to make sure that it's going to stay down. And I hold the other side just to make sure that's not going to lift up, and then I hold that side down, and there we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those fairy lights and I'm going to start stringing them through the hoops. So what I did is I started at the top and came down through the bottom until I got to the middle section on the one side. Then I brought it across the front and then started stringing it going up, but only in the one hoop, going back up. And then I did two, like the other side. just so they both matched, and I only had to use one of the fairy lights. I didn't have to use 2 packs. I only used one. So then what I did is I took it, see, that's how it's gonna look. I'm gonna glue down that one portion that doesn't have the lights. I'm gonna just use a tiny bit of hot glue because you don't want to burn through your wire because then the lights won't work. And I just used a little bit and I held it on to the one hoop in the back, because then the battery pack is going to go on the side there and you're not going to be able to see it, because you'll see what I'm going to do in a minute. So next I'm going to take the flock tree and I'm going to put that down with some hot glue. Next I'm going to put some super glue gel I got at the Dollar Tree on the little deer's hoofs, because I knew hot glue wasn't just going to hold this. So I held it there and then it stayed. So you could use hot glue too though if you like. Then what I did is I took some of these picks and I'm just taking them apart because I'm going to be putting them all around the deer and the tree to make it look like, you know, it's in a snowy forest. So that's what I did here. So I just stuck it wherever I wanted. You know, you could do this any way you want to, but I just used all kinds of different picks. So then I had to figure out a way to hide that battery pack. So what I did is I took one of these towels. They're in the automotive section at the Dollar Tree. I have a bunch of these. And I just cut it out to fit over my battery pack because it looks like snow because it's really a little fuzzy. So what I did is I just took some hot glue and I glued that down to my battery pack to make sure though that I didn't glue it where I can unscrew it to put new batteries in for when my batteries die. So that's the only part you want to make sure. And you also want to make sure that when you glue the battery pack down to your base, that you're gluing it so that the screw part is up, facing up. So you could take the batteries out as well. So that's what I did there. So next, I'm going to start camouflaging it even more. So I had some of these snowy picks from the Dollar Tree. I really love these. I haven't seen them out this year, which I'm really upset about because I'm running out and I really like using those every year. And then these other picks are, like I said, from Hobby Lobby. And I just started putting them, you know, wherever I saw there was a bare spot and I thought it needed something. That's what I did. You just want to make it look, you know, use your creativity. You want to make it look like it's in the forest, you know, and the deer's in there and it's snowy and all that good stuff. So that's what I did, and I just kept going. And once I got everything where I wanted it, I started to like slowly glue everything down. And I left a lot of this part in so you kind of see how I, you know, made it look, you know, like a forest. And I just kept going with it. This is my favorite part of crafting, is doing this. I love to make things like this because there's so much detail in the work, and I just think that it's just so much fun for me. It's very relaxing. I don't know. It might just be me. Let me know in the comments if you're the same way. But I do like doing stuff like this. I just love it. Just like painting or anything else. I love doing that. It just makes me relax. So then I put some more little picks in here too. So wherever I saw there was a bare spot, that's where I put something else in. I put in some of these snowy berries. They're kind of like a rustic berry. And then some more of these snowy leaves on the side. I also put in some of the, what do you call these? Pine cones. I put those in there. See how nice that looks? I love the way it turned out. And then I just started doing the back. After I finished the front, I turned it around and I just started filling in the back as well. I didn't put as much in the back. I just made sure I filled that section. So now this one pick right here where it has Let It Snow and it has the leaves on it, this one pick I used for the top of this hoop. So it was the perfect size. I used the whole pick for that top. So it came out really, really pretty. And I just put the 2 big greens up on top on each side. And then I put one of these white leaves that are kind of like a wood, I think. And I put them on each side. And then I took the Let It Snow sign and I'm going to put that up top, right on the tippy top of our hoops. And I just stuck it in there. And then I just put some glue in there to secure it. And that twine also helped to secure a lot of things too with the glue, so which was nice. Then I took some of the berries and I put those, these are like one of those garland berry picks that was also on there, and I just glued those in on each side because it came with two. This whole pick came with two of everything on it, so it was perfect. And I got that from Hobby Lobby. And it's not very expensive either for that pick. Right now it's 50% off, so. And then I just stuck a couple more of the branches that were on there wherever I thought, you know, it needed to be filled in on the top. So I did the same thing on the top as I did on the bottom. I just filled it in where I thought something needed to go. And then I even took the little tiny acorns, pine cones out of this pack that were from the Dollar Tree. They had them last year. I have not seen them yet this year, but there's still time. They still could be putting these out. And yeah, that's it, you guys. This turned out so pretty. You guys got to let me know what you think down in the comments. And then here it is with the lights on, and you'll see a shot of it here at the end. I did one without it and then one with it with the lights on, and then here's with the lights on. It just came out so pretty. I love this centerpiece. I took this set here from the Dollar Tree. This Joy is from Hobby Lobby. I got it last year. I think they have it again this year. One of these wood pieces from the Dollar Tree, and then another wood piece from the Dollar Tree. Some of those cones, and then some rusty bells and some greenery. I'm also going to use black chalk paint and also white, and then some steel chalk paint. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of wood and I'm going to do it with the white. Then I'm going to take this steel chalk paint and I'm going to just do a dry brushing. I'm sorry, it's not steel, it's elephant, my mistake. And I did a dry brushing on both of the white pieces of wood, okay? One is that white signs that you could get at the Dollar Tree. I know you guys see them, they're there every year and for every holiday. And then I took these pieces out. That was the manger that you could get set, and I'm only using the manger. I'm not using the wooden 3D piece on the bottom. And then I'm just painting this black. So I'm doing the actual manger, everything. So then I printed out this Silent Night music note, and I'm going to trace the star out, and then I'm going to use this scrapbook paper to trace out my J and my Y, and that's what I'm going to be using to cover these. So once I get that all traced out, then I just cut them out, and then I'm going to Mod Podge them onto our letters. So first I took the music note. Now you can get these music notes online, just Google it, and you could get it and print it out yourself. They're free. And I just used the Mod Podge and then brushed it out and then stuck my music notes on there. The music note on this one was Silent Night. I thought it was perfect. And then I took the scrapbook and I'm going to put that on my J that I traced out, and then next on my Y. I'm going to do the same thing with the Mod Podge, brush it out, and then put that scrapbook paper on there. Okay, then next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of, first I'm going to use my sander, and make sure you sand off all those extra, if you went over a little bit with your cutting, you could just, use your sander to sand it off. Then I'm going to use my dry, this is dark wax, it's by Kills, it's in my Amazon shop. I love using this stuff. I use it to distress a lot of things. I use it on the edges of my work, like I am doing right now, just to bring it out a little bit more, make it look a little rustic and vintage. And that's the look that I like. You could skip this part totally if you don't want to do it, but this is what I like. So you do you. But this is just what I like to do. I love vintage. I love rustic look, farmhouse. That's my thing. So I'm going around and I'm doing it with my brush, and you only need a little bit because a little bit goes a long way with this stuff. And it's really dark, so you don't want to do too heavy on your brush. And I just go around the edges, and then I just take my finger and I kind of rub it, and it just rubs it, because it's like a wax. So it just rubs on really, really easy. If you get too much though, don't worry, because you can use a baby wipe and it'll come off. So now what I'm doing is I'm using some super wood glue and hot glue to glue this one wood piece to the back of the larger wood piece. Then I'm going to take my letters and I'm going to line them up against that. This is so that they don't fall off. That's why I'm using that piece, and I really like doing it this way. Then I use some more of the same glue to glue down my J, and I'm gonna do the same thing with the star, and I put some on the back as well of my letters so that it really sticks, and I know it's not going anywhere. And then I did the Y. Then after I get the Y down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start gluing down my manger pieces. So now the manger pieces, what I did is I glued the manger to the front with baby Jesus and then Mary and Joseph, just like so. And I love the way this piece turned out as well. This is one of my favorites. And then I glued Joseph down, and then I'm going to do the 3 wise men, and I'm going to glue them in front of the Y, like so. And this piece just turned out so pretty. And then I go a little bit extra because that's what I do. And I took some of the greenery and I stuck it on the sides in the front of it, like wherever there's an empty spot, that's where I stuck it. So I stuck a couple on the sides near the Y and the J, and then I stuck some underneath the star in the center. And I used, this pick is actually from Hobby Lobby. It goes a long way when you cut it up. So I really like getting these, and they're not expensive. And then these picks came from the Dollar Tree. Last year they had them in a pack. I don't know if they have them this year, but you can use whatever picks you want. And I just cut them up. And these go a long way as well. And I just put those on, like on top of the other greenery to kind of give it, because they're a little bit snowy. I didn't want too much snowy look, just wanted a little bit. And there, that's how that looks. And then I took some of this raffia because I was like, you know what? It's a manger. They're supposed to be the hay. So I stuck some raffia in the front there where baby Jesus is and Mary and Joseph. I just put a little glue down and cut up the raffia and then stuck it in the center. Then I took these rusty bells, which are in my Amazon shop. You get a whole bunch of them, and I stuck them on each side just for a little more decor. And then I took some of these pine cones, and I stuck them on each side of the Y and the J on top of my greenery. And that was it for this, you guys. This was so easy, yet so pretty, and I absolutely love this one as well. You let me know which one you like the best down in the comment. I took one of these mop things from the Dollar Tree, some picks. I'm also going to use this. This was from Hobby Lobby, but with 50% off, it was only $1.40 something. And then some Distress Oxide, some of my dark wax, this ribbon that I absolutely love from Hobby Lobby, some strips of fabric, and then this scrapbook paper, which I traced out for my stocking. So I'm going to use my Mod Podge again, and I'm going to smooth that out all over the bottom portion of my stocking. Now, I like everything vintage and old looking, so you do you, but this is what I'm doing. So be aware when we move on to the next step. So I'm smoothing it down, and I got the scrapbook paper on. Now I'm just going to sand around the edges to make sure there isn't any excess paper hanging off the edge. And then once I do that, I'm going to take the mop from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to trace out the top portion of the stocking, because that's going to be our fuzzy part. Okay, so this is the part, okay? I'm taking my Distress Oxide and Vintage Photo, and I'm using my little dabber thing, and I am going to dab it all over the white. I'm going to make it look dirty. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So yes, this is the look I like, but you guys do you, okay? You can leave it white. This is just me. This is what I like. So I love the Farmhouse rustic vintage look. So then I'm going to take that dust mop, and I am going to glue it to the top of my stocking. So there you go. Next, I'm going to take the strips of fabric and ribbon that I have, and I'm just going to loop it back and forth into my Bodabra. That's just going to hold it for me and make it nice. And then I had this lace left over, so I used some of this as well. And I'm just going to make, I call them raggy bows, messy bows, whatever you want to call them. But that's what I'm making right now. So I always pick up tons of fabric, especially when it's in the clearance at Hobby Lobby. and I use it for different holidays and, you know, seasonal decor, whatever. And this is what kind of bows I like to make, because I'm not a good bow maker, and these are fun because you don't have to be perfect. And then I cut the excess off, and then I'm just going to keep going back and forth with the different, you know, strips. You can make them as thick as you want, as much ribbon as you want, as much fabric as you want, just whatever you want. Use your imagination. And then I take it all out, and I used a zip tie, but you can surely use a piece of string if you want to tie it together. I just use the zip tie because I have a hard time with my hands, and that's just easier for me. And then I just cut and trimmed my hangover, anything that was hanging over too much. I just trimmed it up so everything was nice and even on both sides, and it didn't look too sloppy. Okay, and then after that I just fluff it up. Now I'm going to take it and I am going to stick it in the corner here on the fuzzy part of my stocking. And then I'm going to take this tag, and I'm one of these stamps that I had that says Merry Christmas, and I stamped that on the tag. Now I'm going to rough up the edges of the tag because I want the tag to look old too. I want everything to look old. So you can use scissors to do this. I have this little tool that I use because, like I said, I used to scrapbook, so I used it all the time. And then I just kind of like crunched it up with my hands and like made it look old, right? Wrinkles in it. And then I took the Distress Oxide again, and I went over the whole tag with the vintage photo. And now I'm going to stick it in between the bow right there with the string. Then I'm going to take one of these rusty bells. They're in my Amazon shop if you are interested in getting any. And I stuck that in the center of my bow. Now I'm going to take this pick that's from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to take it apart, and I'm going to start sticking it around my bow. So I went with this piece first because it was the biggest on the pick, and I just glued it down to the top in between. And then I'm going to take that pick of berries and I'm going to glue that on top of that. I always take my picks apart so I can move them around, put them in different spots. And then I took these ones and I put them on the sides, and I just kept playing around. Now you can use any picks you want. These are just what I use because I had them. So, and I just put greenery around, you know, the bow, just to bring it out a little bit more, make it a little more decorative, give it a little more something. And then I stuck it underneath a little bit too by the tag there. And then I took another piece and I cut it a little bit shorter and stuck the other one on the other side of my tag. And that's what I did. And then I took this small acorn pine cone, and I stuck that in the center too near my bell. And then I also am going to take a little pick of berries and I'm going to stick that as well in the center. Now this ribbon is really cool. It looks a little snowy and I love it. This is just to give it a little more texture around my bow. So I took little pieces and cut them off of the roll, and then I'm just sticking them wherever I want. So I love using this. This is in the Christmas section where the ribbon is at Hobby Lobby. So you can pick this up there. And I just kept doing that. I like using it for textures. I love my projects have tons of textures and all kinds of things. So I like more is better is my motto. So that's what I do. And I just kept going around until I was satisfied and I liked the way it looked. So that's all you got to do. But yeah, you just cut it in pieces. You don't have to use the whole roll. You can use the whole roll and use it as a bow too. That would be even nice too. And I stuck some more on the side there, and then I think that's it. Now I'm going to go in with my dark wax from Kiehl's, and this is just a dark wax, and you just put a little bit on a brush, and a little goes a long way. I use this a lot on my projects, and I went around the edges of the stocking, and I just rubbed it in with my finger, and this is just going to give it that nice old look around the edges that I like. And I just kept going around the edges all the way to the other side. And I just kept rubbing, putting it on, rubbing, dipping it in their wax. Yeah. And then I went in with, then I went in and I actually took the brush and I just did really lightly a little bit more around the toe part and the heel part of the stocking. And then I went around the whole thing and I just hurried up and rubbed my finger as soon as I dabbed it on. And then I went in and I with my wipey and I just wiped a little bit. And then I went in with the Distress Oxide and my little sponge tool and I did that too as well. Just to make the red part look a little bit older as well. And there it is, you guys. Isn't it cute? I absolutely love the way this turned out. I just love it so much. You guys let me know what you think down below in the comments. So I got this birdhouse a while back from Joann's. I'm going to use some Cardinal, some picks from Hobby Lobby, some red and black chalk paint, some Snow Tex, and some moss from the Dollar Tree. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this wood birdhouse with my black chalk paint, the roof and the base in black. Now, this I got was really cheap. I bought it when it was like 70 or 60% off. And I thought it was so cute because it looked like a barn in the front. And I put the red around the actual house. Then I went around with my little finger sander and I just sanded all the edges, made it look a little old and rustic because that's my style. You could totally skip this part if that is not your style. But this is what I did with mine. And then I'm going to take the big Cardinal. This one's from the Dollar Tree. And I stuck that on the top of the birdhouse. And now I took apart a pick from Hobby Lobby. And I just started putting it wherever I wanted on the top of the birdhouse. So I just wanted it to look like there was greenery on top of the birdhouse. And then I put a little bit in the front along the edges of the birdhouse that looks like a little barn. And then I just kept going with the picks. I used one pick from the Dollar Tree to do the top of the birdhouse. So one goes a long way, you guys. And right now they're 50% off. This pine cone was also on the pick. I put that on the top. And then I had these little extra berries, again, these snowy berries, the big ones from Dollar Tree. They come in a package. And I just stuck those on top as well, on both sides of my little pine cone. And you just dress it up, you know, however you want to and what you may have in your stash. So then I took some and I put a little bit on the bottom of the birdhouse as well, which you'll see in a minute. And I put some more little berries in the front there where the Cardinal is sitting. And I also stuck some of the big berries down on the big branches coming off of the house there, which you'll see in a minute. I'm just sticking more branches down. See how cute it is? Look at that. And then I stuck, like I said, some more of these big berries. I stuck one like coming off the branches going down. And then I'm going to take the moss, and you can't see, but I'm sticking a little bit in the hole of the bird house. There it is. And then I'm also going to stick my little bird on the little stoop that's on the birdhouse there where the hole is. And I stuck him down there. And then I stuck some branches on the bottom, the base of it as well. I know you guys can't see, I'm sorry, but you'll see in a minute. I do turn it around. And there it is. Look how cute that is. Oh my God, I love it. And then, of course, I came in with my Snow Tex and I started decorating the bottom part of my birdhouse. I just stuck some in the corners and a little bit of snow in the center on the bottom base to make it look snowy like Christmas time. And look how cute this came out, you guys. I love this birdhouse. Absolutely love it. I think it's so gorgeous. Let me know what you guys think down below. But this is it, you guys. So now on to DIY number 2. So this DIY, I had so much fun with this one. So I thought I was going to use this triangle, but I ended up changing my mind several times, guys. And I've been doing this a lot. So I'm going to be using those balls that you see there, though, that came off of picks that I had. I'm going to use some fairy lights, some of those snowflakes you see there. Also, all these picks. Yes, I went in my stash and I just started pulling everything out. Anything that looked wintry, that's what I did. I'm going to use that little tree that you see there, that white Christmas tree. I'm also going to use these picks. See, I had a ton of picks, guys. And most of them are from Hobby Lobby or the Dollar Tree. And then I had this white bird, and I'm going to use that. And I just changed my mind there. So you saw, I'm going to use that wood slice. And then I'm going to use these shims, and I'm going to make my own tree. So these shims you could pick up at Home Depot, Lowe's, and I'm going to use 3 on each side. And what they are is they're long on one side, if you've never seen a shim before, and thin on the other. So they're thick on one side, I'm sorry, and thin on the other. So what I did is I painted these white. So I did all of those, and then that little piece of wood that's going to be the bottom of our tree, that white as well. So now what you do is you stack them on top of each other, and I'm kind of doing like the thick side, and then I'm going to kind of go down a little bit on the top where the thin side is, and kind of sandwich them, but you want it to hang a little bit, okay, off the edge. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm using glue, and I'm using hot glue, and I'm also using super glue wood glue that you can get at Dollar Tree as well. And this is just to make sure that it stays together and it's not going to fall apart. And the wood glue, super glue works really well from Dollar Tree. Then once I get those two all glued, I'm going to glue the bottom part of the tree that I made on the bottom part there to hold it, okay? And you're going to hold it in place until it stays. And then the tippy top, I put more glue, okay, to keep that glued together. Then I took the hanger off of the wood slices that you can get from the Dollar Tree, and I took these small wood slices that I had that look like little bark, like little tree stubs, and I glued 2 together and then put that down on the wood slice. Next, I'm going to take my tree and I am going to kind of like distress it with a little bit of Distress Oxide. This is Vintage Photo, and I'm just using my little spongy tool, and I'm just going around it, and I'm going to kind of like dirty up the tree a little bit, make it look a little bit more not so white, but like, you know, rustic. And that's what I did with that. And I just went around the edges and on the outside. You could skip this part altogether if you don't like that look, but I do. So that's why I did it. So I do the rustic farmhouse look, and I like to dirty my stuff up. I don't know. I just like doing that this year. So that's what I did. And then now I'm going to glue that down to the little stub that I made there with the 2 wood slices. And I put same thing, hot glue and some super wood glue, and I glued that on top. Now I have these little branches that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I've been using them through, if you've been watching me, for a couple of my videos, and I'm going to use this for the tree as well. So I just took a piece out that had all these branches coming out of it, and I put it in between the inside of the tree and the outside and glued it down. Then I took this pick that's also from Hobby Lobby, and I glued those to the back of there that make it look like branches were coming up as well, but they're kind of like a snowy branch, so I liked that. Now I'm going to take my fairy lights, which are in my Amazon shop. I get them online, and they're not expensive. And I just started wrapping those around the branches and then a little bit behind the actual Christmas tree that I made with the wood slices. So I just keep wrapping it until I get it the way I want it. I didn't want to wrap the whole Christmas tree. I just wanted it on the branches like it would be if you were outside. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm kind of going for. And so we're just going to make this really pretty wintry scene with this stuff. I love doing this type of DIYs. And I've done a couple of these, and I just think they turn out so pretty. So then I took this pick that I actually got from Walmart for only $1.28 or $1.48, something like that. And I took the whole pick and I just stuck it to the inside. Look how pretty that is. To the inside of the tree. And now I'm going to start building around it on the outside there. And I'm just going to start grabbing all my picks and just putting any pick that I want, the way that I want it to look. Like kind of like how you would see it outside on a snowy day, and you would have all these bushes full of snow and leaves, and if there were any leaves, but like you know, your bushes, your greenery, anything that's out there gets full of snow, and you're just making a wintry snowy scene on that wood slice that we put down, that we put our tree on top of. And now I'm going to put a little acorn that's got snow on it. And I just kept going through my stuff. See the mess I had on my desk? Yeah. And then I decided to put some of these white leaves in there because I wanted to set my bird on top of them. So I just kind of put them down with some glue, and then I put my little bird down, and he's so pretty. It's like he's sitting there near the snow, near the tree. And then I put the little Christmas tree behind him. And then I had this little pick that I'm going to bring along up the side of the tree. And then some of these wintry berries that I had that are white. And I just kept going, you guys. I used picks from the Dollar Tree and from Walmart and from Hobby Lobby. Okay, most of these were Walmart, to be honest. I think only one pick was from Hobby Lobby. So it was not expensive to make, and I had all this stuff in my stash. So from last year, guys, last year. So I figured this was a perfect DIY to get to use some of this stuff too. So that's what I did, and I just kept making my little wintry scene, and then I took this wintry bulb. It looks like a snowball, and I put that in there, and then I took my lights, and I had extra left over, and I wrapped them around the little white Christmas tree on the side of the big wood tree that we made, and I wrapped the lights around that too, because I thought that would be really pretty. And then my leftover, I just put inside where you can't see it. I tucked it inside the little battery pack, and so you can't see it. So when you turn it on and off, it's underneath all that greenery. Then I took some of the snowflakes and I just glued them on. I glued one on the top of the tree, and then a bigger one on the side, and then another little one on the other side. And there it is, you guys. This was so much fun to make, and look how pretty with the lights on. So pretty. It looks so high end. You guys let me know what you think down below in the comments, but this one was my favorite. So now DIY number 3. So now this one, I'm going to take a snowflake from the Dollar Tree, one of these big ones. And I'm also going to take some of these little biscuits, they're called, and they're in my Amazon shop. You can get them on Amazon. And I am going to put those around, and then I'm going to make put them in the middle too, kind of like a flower almost, but it's supposed to look more like a snowflake. But we're going to use those as well. So I'm going to put them on the ends like you see me doing there. And then I'm going to take some of these pearls also from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use those. I'm going to use some white paint. I'm going to use some dark wax and this stencil. And also I'm going to use what they call is modeling paste. But you can use spackle from the Dollar Tree and it will do the same thing that the modeling paste does. I use the modeling paste because I have it. Okay, so that's why I used it. So what I'm going to do is I painted the snowflake white. Now I'm going to paint the biscuits white. And I painted the biscuits on both sides. You don't have to, but I did. And then I'm going to take my snowflake stencil. Now this I got a long time ago. Couldn't tell you where I got it. I don't know. But you can use any stencil of your choice. Or you can just rub it on with a spatula like I am there. And just make it like goopy and like kind of make your own little design with it. It's really easy because modeling paste or spackle will go on really easy. And then you just dry it, with your heating tool, or just let it sit and dry overnight. And then I just kept doing that around my whole snowflake with that stencil. Then once it was all nice and dry, I took my dark waxing, that is a Kills wax that I have in my Amazon shop as well if you're interested. And it's a wax, so I'm just using my stencil brush to put it on, and then I'm rubbing my finger on the edges just to kind of bring it out a little bit on the edges as well. And I'm just using my finger to do that. It's really, really easy. The stuff is so super cool to work with, and if you get a little bit too much, you can use a baby wipe, and it wipes right off. So no worries there. And I just kept doing this around my whole snowflake because I like the dirty, rustic look, so farmhouse look. So that's what I was going for. But again, if you don't like that, then you do you, and just keep it white. It'll still be pretty too with the white. You can actually put like some holographic paint on it, and it'll make it sparkle. You can do so many things with these. So many ideas. So then I went around the whole snowflake very lightly to kind of bring out a little bit of the stencil that I put on with the modeling paste, and it brings it right out, and it just looks so pretty. So I just kept doing that, and there it is, all done. And now we're going to take those biscuits. Now the biscuits I did not want to make dirty. I wanted to keep those white so they stand out on it. So what I did is I just set them down where I wanted them to go first, and then I went around and I glued them all down. And like I said, I just kept them the white, and they kind of stand out a little bit more now with that other look behind it, the darker and the wax. I just think that it just brings them out really nicely on there, and I just think it's so pretty. And this just brings another texture too to this project. So you have the modeling paste, and then you have the little biscuits on there, and it just makes it kind of three-dimensional, and it brings this snowflake like completely to life. I absolutely love it. Then I took the pearls and gave it a little bling, and I stuck those in the center there, and then I stuck them all around the edges there where the other biscuits are. So I just started putting some glue down, and I started putting them down right in between. And I went all the way around with those. And then once I got all those glued down, of course, I decided that I wanted to use the holographic paint that I was just talking about on the biscuits, because I wanted them to be a little bit more blingy. So, and to help with the pearls, I thought it would be perfect. So I took some out, and this stuff is awesome. You could get this at any craft store, really. And you just paint it on, and then once it dries, you can actually see the little sparkles in it. It's only a little bit of a sparkle. It's not too much, because I don't like a lot of glittery stuff. So this is like perfect for me, and I really like you can't tell on camera, but there you can a little bit when I tilt it. So pretty, you guys, especially when there's a light on it. Really, really pretty. So I hope you guys like everything. Let me know what you think down in the comments.